gratitude. This is Reverend Dr. Kamara Falade Bandewa, and I'm going to be very brief. It is Tuesday, August, what is this? Tuesday, August 19th. Today, the 19th of August. Yes, Tuesday, August 19th. It is 1:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The title of this live is Speak to the Spirit. Here is a tip, I guess you could say, for our practitioners out there. When you are doing a spell, you are doing a spell to the spirit of a person. Because remember, one of the Hermetic laws is as above, so below. Remember, everything happens in the spirit realm before it happens on the spiritual realm. So a lot of times when we're doing spells, you're targeting the person's mind or you're targeting their body. Target the spirit. Target the spirit. Because guess what? The spirit never sleeps. It never sleeps. So when the body is sleeping, when the soul is sleeping, because the soul is your mind, will, and emotions. The soul is what gets you to act, the body, on what the spirit is saying. So the spirit will communicate to the soul. So you'll feel something in your body. That's where you get the claircognizance, the clairaudience, the clairvoyant, or you will something. Your five senses will pick up on something. That's the way the spirit communicates to you to get you to do something, to act. Okay, so if you want the spell to be effective, you target the spirit. Target the spirit, because the spirit lives forever. Forever. Even after you leave this physical vessel, this body, it lasts forever. That is why when certain practitioners or certain initiates they can curse you and hex you, and it will be like generational. It will affect you like in lifetimes, because they have cursed or hexed the spirit, because the spirit never dies. So you need to address the spirit in your spells, in your workings. It's the spirit that you need to address. That is where you're going to start seeing the results. Instant. I won't say instant. But if I say instant, that's what Spirit is telling me to tell you, instant. You're going to see faster results that way. I'll put it that way. That's the word that I wanted to use, faster results that way. In some cases, it may be instant because that person's spirit may already be weak. It may already be weak because they're not doing ancestor veneration, and they're engaging in activities in the physical world that weakens their spirit anyway. So that's why I was led to say like faster results or immediate results. You go for the spirit. You don't do spells that are targeted toward the mind, anything physical. You go to the spirit first, because that is spiritual law. As above, so below. Everything starts in the spirit realm first. So that's where you want to focus on your target spirit, because the spirit never sleeps. It never sleeps. It's our body that sleeps, our soul that sleeps, but it's not our spirit. And really the best time to do any working is during the hours of 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. because most people are asleep and their spirit is in the astral realm. And most people don't protect themselves before they go to sleep. They don't do their rituals. They don't do their prayers. They don't put up protective measures. That's why when you were younger, for those that are listening, for a lot of you that are listening, that's why you were told to say your prayers before you went to bed. You didn't know it then, but you know it now. You say your prayers to protect yourself in the astral realm. When you're sleeping, your spirit is traveling in the astral realm and in other realms. That's why you would say your prayers to protect your spirit. So anybody that's trying to attack you or do work on you, that's why you hear or do work on you, your prayers would protect you before you went to sleep. That's why you hear in Christian circles about the prayer watches and praying, it's important to pray between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. because the witches and the warlocks are out. Well, yeah, they are. However, if you're up, they're not able to attack your spirit because you're up, you're not asleep. So what are they sowing in real life? What are they sowing in your life? If you're up, that means that your spirit is not in the astral realm. You're not sleeping. So your spirit is not in the astral realm. So they're doing their work in the astral realm. They're also doing their work on earth too. So they can still cause havoc in your life, but it will take longer because you're up and your spirit is in your body and you're not asleep during the time of them working, which is between the hours of 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. So it's best to do your working, if you have a target in mind, is to do it between the hours of 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. because most of the time people are sleeping and their spirit is in the astral realm, and their spirit, if they didn't do the protective work before they went to sleep, their spirit is left unguarded. If they're not doing ancestor veneration, their spirit is left unguarded. And if you're up during that time, it's going to be harder for lower vibrational entities to wreak havoc in your life because your spirit is not in the astral realm. So now they just have to plant seeds, in the physical realm, but you're up. So you could be doing the work to prevent that, like through your prayers or rituals or whatever kind of spells you're doing between the hours of 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. And so that's why, like in the religious circle, in the Christian circle, they will tell you, like, when you wake up, you know, you wake up during that time and you're supposed to pray. That part, okay, I could agree with that. It could also be waking you up because the lower vibrational entities are attempting to do something to you, and you're waking up just in time to get your spirit back in your body before they're able to cast that spell on your spirit in the astral realm. Like you're being awakened by your spirit guides or your ancestors right before they're able to do that to your spirit realm in the astral realm, or to your spirit in the astral realm. So your ancestors, your angels, your guardian spirits, your spirit guides are waking you up just in time because they're planning to, attach something or curse your spirit or attack your spirit in the astral realm. So you're being awakened just in time. And then that can be your time of prayer. Or that can be your time. Maybe you're supposed to wake up and do some work. Maybe your ancestors want you to venerate them or talk to them at that time, and you could get wisdom or guidance for a certain situation or problem that you're facing. So remember, speak to the spirit. You will have better results, more efficient and effective results when you speak to the spirit. And it's best to speak to the spirit between the hours of 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. Now, if you're doing this work, a working or a spell for yourself, well, you can speak to your spirit any time of day because your spirit is always with you. You can speak to your spirit any time of day. So now when you say certain prayers, speak it to your spirit. Say, my spirit will be prosperous. My spirit will lead me to prosperous opportunities. My spirit will lead me to money making opportunities. My spirit will lead me to $1,000 a month in income. Speak it to your spirit because it has to occur in the spirit realm first anyway before it occurs in the physical, in the natural. So start praying to your spirit or speaking to your spirit. Because when you're just saying, oh, bless me, well, what me are you talking about? What part of me are you talking about? Are you talking about your soul? Are you talking about your spirit? Are you talking about your body? What me are you talking about? And if you're saying bless me, the body, well, the body that you see now is only a result of what has occurred in the spirit realm. So blessing your body is really too late because it's just the result of whatever took place in the spirit realm the night before, a year ago, 5 months ago. So you got to speak to the spirit. To the spirit. You got to speak to your spirit. So, homework assignment is for yourself. Pick a prayer that you've been praying. I don't care if it's a prayer that you read, that is written down and you read it, or whatever prayer that you pray on behalf of yourself. And instead of saying me or my, say my spirit, the spirit of your name. So the spirit of Jane Doe. Start using your spirit, saying your spirit instead of just a general statement of me and my. Because that's not telling your spirits or your ancestors anything. You're not being specific. It's just random, just me. Okay, well, what part of you? Mind, will, body, emotion, spirit, what part of you? Be intentional, be specific, say my spirit. And that's your homework assignment. Replace me and my with spirit, my spirit, the spirit of, and say your name. And then journal how quickly you get the results, how more effective the results are. So that's what I was led to come and tell you, because the spirits are saying that that's what causes them to take with them in the afterworld or in the afterlife sin, not fulfilling their purpose because they weren't intentional in their prayers. They didn't say specifically what part of themselves that they wanted the answer to their prayers to affect. It was just me and my, okay? So the spirits are saying, the ancestors are saying, start being more specific. And it's really the spirit. You want to say the spirit of, and say your name. So that's your homework assignment. Pick a prayer that you've been saying, and instead of saying your name, instead of just saying me and my, say the spirit of in your name. And see how much more effective the results will be. So speak to the spirit, speak to the spirit, speak to the spirit, speak to the spirit, because your soul is only going to obey your spirit. The soul obeys the spirit. So speak to the spirit. So until next time, stay grateful and stay peaceful.